Welcome back. This video may end up getting a content warning because I'm about to describe a slaughter. Uh, and you know, the funny thing with this is it looked good for Montreal, and then all of a sudden, nope. And really for the Habs, I don't know. This feels like bottom, but didn't we already discuss bottom with Montreal? And then they went in and they beat San Jose, and it looked like, hey, things are getting better, and then this happens. So it was Allen versus Peterson. First chance goes to the Kings. A lot of chances would go to the Kings. Good start for LA. They press at the 4-minute mark. They gave Toffoli a nice tribute video during the the first commercial break. So first TV timeout. Nice TV tribute to Toffoli because this is his first game against the Kings since they traded him to the Canucks. And of course, Toffoli, he's off to a slow start this year. And at some point, I'm going to have to do a video on guys off to slow starts and guys off to really good starts. Kings get another press at 8 minutes. Elias Anderson with the near miss. I thought Anderson played all right today. Peterson then denies Toffoli. Suzuki had a chance that was stopped as well. The Habs get a power play. Hoffman fires one high. We get a shorthanded 2-on-1 for Moore, who's still looking for his first goal of the year. His shot was saved, and it's killed off. The Habs pressed after. Allen then saves on Kaliev, as some of these young Kings are becoming very prominent in their lineup. Kaliev being one of them. Iafallo hits the outside of the post, and Allen holds on to the next opportunity. But it's a fast break goal that opens the scoring for Montreal. Anderson from Dvorak and Romanov at 18:22. And you can hear some Habs fans in the crowd, which doesn't surprise me. There's Habs fans in every crowd in the NHL. Armia then had a high stick with, I think there was like 10 seconds left, and they missed it. They just flat out, they missed it. It was a high stick, and ref's right there. So it's 1-0 Montreal after the first period, even though LA's playing well, because Jake Allen has a very good start. And Montreal being opportunistic with when they get their goals. So second period, early chance for Kopitar was stopped. Anderson then had a chance for the Habs. There were a lot of Andersons in this game. You had Elias Anderson, Mikey Anderson on one side, and Josh Anderson on the other. Thankfully, Anderson Dolan is down in the AHL right now, or you'd have a really confusing mess on your hands. So, Caulfield not allowed to get a goal. That continues today. Caulfield just snake bit. The only way to put it is he snake bit. And teams are really keying on Caulfield. Absolutely. So for Montreal, I'm not sure how you get Caulfield going offensively, but they need him. Dano then had a chance that was tipped wide. Of course, he now plays for the Kings. That's not a Montreal chance. And then it's Arvidsson from Kopitar and Mata at 4:31, and that was on a Habs turnover. The Habs were turning over the puck a lot. Now, both teams were in that first 5 minutes. However, after that goal, it felt like the Kings really turned it on, and Montreal really didn't. Kempe gets denied. The next chance was blocked, and the Kings are taking over the game. Sherratt fires one high. The Habs press. So I've talked about Ryan Lindgren in New York as all of a sudden having this offense. Sherratt seems to be taking all kinds of shots as well. Felt like it today anyways. Kupari to Moore then, saved by Allen on that one. Gallagher goes to the LA net, drawing attention. And that's what Brendan Gallagher's job is to go out there and try to stir things up and fire his team up. Kopitar, though, draws a Kings power play, and they score on it. Kaliev from Clegg and Kopitar at 12:19. Now, interestingly enough, this gives the Kings the lead. The Kings have had the first goal in 4 games, and they haven't won any of them. So in this game, Montreal scores first. It's a weird thing with the Kings. There you go. So it was a great shot by Kaliev, and then the Kings push for another, and they draw another power play. Kaliev nearly gets another goal. We end up with 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 40 seconds. And it looked like maybe the Habs were a little bit off the hook there, that this game could get really ugly. Sherratt was denied. Petrie wants one. Petrie doesn't have a point yet. I know when I did the video talking about the slow start for the Habs, I had to look at Petrie. I'm like, wait, he doesn't have a point? Like, it just seems weird. But everything all gets killed off. Gallagher net drive then wouldn't go. Lemieux had a chance on a turnover. That was blocked out. And there was some good back and forth action late in the period. So we're going into the third. LA's out shooting them. They're out chancing them. But it's only a 1-goal game. They're on the road. They beat San Jose. They beat that, whatever ghosts that has involved with it, right? So you go into the third period against LA. Kaliev prominent again early. At 23 seconds, the Habs take a penalty in the Kings zone. So this is an offensive penalty. I think that was the second time they'd done that, too, in the game. Dvorak's the one going to the box. The refs then waved off a goal. The players, the goal horn, all of it, the fans, nobody was hearing of it. So while the referees are like, no, that's not a goal, everybody's celebrating. Dvorak's coming out of the box because they know it's a goal. And it was one of those, it was in and out of the net so quickly, you blink, you miss it. But Kupari didn't miss it. So Kupari gets a goal from Roy and Iafallo, almost said Raw, at 1:53. The Kings then tried to add another. No sustained pressure by the Habs in the first 5 minutes, but they ended up going back to the box. And Iafallo scores from Roy at 5:37. Kings go back to the power play again. Strong shorthanded play by Armia. See, this is where I'm kind of thrown off. So, the app tells me the Iafallo goal is a power play goal. I'm watching this in real time. I don't think it is. So, I think the app is wrong. And I'm also going to say Sportsnet stats may be wrong as well, because Sportsnet stats said the Kings had 4 power play goals in one game, April 5th of 2012. But as writing down the notes, Iafallo has that goal, and then the Kings go to the power play, and Montreal killed it off. Not only that, but you have overlapping penalties before that. So yeah, this number doesn't add up, and so I'm going to go ahead and change that number there while we're discussing it to a 3 from a 4, and I think it's just one of those ones, because the Sherratt goal showed as a shorthanded goal, and I know it's not. Spoiler alert on that one. So yeah, strong shorthanded play by Armia. Killed off. One shot for the Habs at the halfway mark. There's a press then by the Habs with 8.5 minutes left. And all you're thinking at this point is, it is 4-1, right? So that's where the pride kicks in. You want to see some pride from these players. But the Kings defended it. There was a 2-on-1 then for the Kings. Arvidsson's denied by Allen. Arvidsson looks to be back to being the Arvidsson that I really liked early in his career in Nashville. 7:09 left. The Kings get another power play. And Kopitar and Arvidsson on that power play looked really good together. So if there's anybody that you want to see Arvidsson get good chemistry with, it's Anze Kopitar. And then it's Iafallo on the power play from Danault and Kupari at 14:16. So Kupari with a couple of points. And yeah, this was ugly. So April 5th of 2012 was the last time the Kings had 4 power play goals in one game. By my count, there were 3 in this one. So not quite setting a record, but could have. Habs didn't get a power play. There was a shorthanded rush by Moore. Allen makes the save on that. So again, Trevor Moore trying for that first goal of the year. And then it's Sherratt from Anderson and Suzuki at 17 minutes and 40 seconds. That makes it 5-2. The Habs did press for another, and I was actually kind of surprised they didn't pull the goalie. It felt like, there's some momentum here, and if they pull the goalie with 2 minutes left, I know it's not going to happen, but I've seen coaches decide stranger things. In this case, it doesn't happen. And then with 10 seconds left, Petrie, looking up at the clock, decides that's it, and he stands there. So, and I only say that because there's a big point being made of what Merzlikins did last night, but we see this in every game where a player just looks at the clock and goes, well, it's done. And so we reached that point between Montreal and LA. It was done once Iafallo got that goal to make it 4-1. That was where it's really sunk. So the Canadiens lose 5-2. They drop to 2-7. The Kings win their first game since opening night against Vegas. They go to 2-5-1. And for LA, they looked really good, but Montreal looked really bad. So we'll see whether or not LA can do it again in their next game. The shots were 10-5 LA in the first, 15-10 LA in the second, 14-10 LA in the third. Final shots 39-28 for LA. Power plays 0-3 for Montreal, 3-5 for LA. The hits are 32-16 in favor of Montreal. Allen, 34 saves on 39 shots at one end of the ice. Peterson, 26 saves on 28 shots at the other. And for Jake Allen, I think he can sue his defense for not supporting him at all in this game. Just a rough night for Montreal all around. And now they move on, and I guess they play Anaheim next, and we'll see what happens there. Remember, this road trip is kind of their chance to get themselves back on track. And now they've lost 2 out of 3 on this road trip so far. And now they really kind of have to win that one in Anaheim. So we'll see what happens. But again, that 2-7 start, it leaves you having to dig your way out of a hole We know how strong the Metro is. You're likely going to see 5 Metro teams in the playoffs. Making the playoffs is going to be very difficult. It really is for Montreal. For the Kings, it's a tough road ahead too, but it's a big win. So there you go. I blame the sparkly New Jerseys. I think the sparkly New Jerseys are the reason that Montreal. I don't know. Maybe. Sure. Why not? Interestingly enough, Ontario doesn't have the sparkly on theirs. I checked that last night. It was one of the first. It was one of those weird things. But I was like, do they have the spark? They don't have the sparkly jersey. That's too bad. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding this game. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.